James's here presents Wooden Sodor, Episode 18, Oliver the Follower. Hey Douglas, what are you doing? Oh, I'm pulling some scrap cars to the scrap yard. They're covered in tarps because of how windy it is today. Oh, said Oliver. Hey, remember that time you saved me from scrap? Oh, yes, I remember vividly. I heard you guys were talking about scrap. Oh, yes, said Douglas. Well, it's more about how I saved Oliver from scrap. Oh, yeah, I remember that. Hey, Douglas, wasn't Edward the one who inspired you to do that because he saved Trevor from scrap? Oh, yes, said Douglas. It was Edward who inspired me. What's this about scrap I'm hearing? Said Stepney. We're talking about how Douglas saved me from scrap. Oh, yes, said Stepney. I have a history with scrap, too. One time I was about to be scrapped, but then Rusty saved me. Another time, I got lost while trying to go home, and I ended up at the scrapyard. A huge claw was about to grab me, but then Sir Topham Hatt saved me. Wow, said Oliver. That's amazing. It's not that amazing, said Stepney, and he puffed away. Soon all of the engines started to leave Knapford. After Oliver had finished all of his jobs, he decided to have a rest at the sheds. You know, Toad, said Oliver, I wish someday I could save someone from scrap. Begging your pardon, Mr. Oliver, but doesn't that seem a little risky? Yeah, I know it's risky, Toad, but I just want to feel it. I just want to feel it in my bones. I just want to feel the feeling of being able to save someone from scrap. I feel like it wouldn't be too hard. Begging your pardon again, Mr. Oliver, but engines don't have bones. Oliver sighed. Maybe you're right, Toad, and he went to sleep. The next morning, when Oliver awoke from his nap, he was feeling refreshed. Ah, said Oliver, what a beautiful day. Isn't it, Toad? I do have to agree with you, Mr. Oliver. Today is a beautiful day. Oliver puffed onto the turntable. Oliver was just puffing away, but then he saw something in the distance and stopped. What's going on over there? Asked Oliver. I don't know, said his driver. That engine does not look familiar in the slightest. I know, said Oliver. That's what I'm thinking. Well, Mr. Oliver, maybe it's a new engine that Sir Topham Hatt brought in while you were sleeping. Oh, no, said Oliver. I don't think that's a new engine. I think it's an intruder. I think you're right, said Oliver's driver. Oliver puffed slowly up. He didn't want the engine to see him. Finally, he got close enough to see what engine it was. Oh my goodness, said Oliver. Who is it? Said his driver. Oh my, I think that's Diesel 10. Shh, said Toad. Be quiet, Mr. Oliver. He could hear us. Oh my gosh, I think he has Duck. And Oliver was right. Let me go, called Duck. Shut up, said Diesel. Talking to me is not allowed, especially when I'm thinking of a way to scrap you. What are we gonna do? Exclaimed Toad. I have an idea, said Oliver, but we have to go onto a different line. Oliver backed up as quickly as he could to the turntable. Soon, Oliver was on the same track as Diesel. He was going as slow as ever because he didn't want to bring attention. Okay, said Oliver to himself. I have to do this. There's no going back. Oliver then shouted as loud as he can. Duck! Bump Diesel 10! Duck heard this and bumped Diesel 10. Ow! Said Diesel 10. Who said that? Ow! Said Diesel 10. Oliver had bumped Diesel 10 so hard that he came off the rails. What's going on? Said Diesel 10. I'm rescuing Duck, said Oliver. Thank you so much, Oliver, said Duck. Oliver then realized what he'd just done. Toad, I
I saved Duck from being scrapped.
Well done, Mr. Oliver.
Please, said Diesel 10. Please, I'm sorry. Just put me back on the rails, please, he called.
No, said both of the engines in unison, and they both puffed away. For the next few minutes, Diesel 10 rotted on the ground until someone took him away. Oliver felt great, knowing that he had saved Duck from being scrapped by Diesel 10. But he had no idea that he would be feeling a lot better once Sir Topham Hatt found out.